Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In this tutorial we're going to be looking at inserting charts into your Excel workbook. If we don't cover off all the aspects of using charts, then obviously apologies, but we hope this video just serves as a purpose of showing you what is available and how to insert your first chart, and then some of the customizations that you have available within Excel. So in order to use charts, you need to have your data presented in a table format, just as you can see on the screen now in our example in columns B and C. So what you just need to do is get your data into this style of format. So you've got like the particular area you'd like to measure by. So you can see our data is going to be grouped by days of the week. And then you've got your totals that you wish to be showing into your graph as well. And hopefully as we step through this tutorial, it'll make more sense of how this will then transpose into the chart layout. Once you've got this table format, all you need to simply then do is to select all of the information contained. So we're including the column header, so what we've got the day and the customer, so we can see what each thing relates to, and then all the information we want to contain within our chart. To then insert a chart, if we just go up to our insert button in the ribbon, we have it in Excel, and towards the center of the ribbon, and again yours might be slightly different depending on the layout you have, but you'll see the ability to select charts, or it'll be under a section called charts here. If you're using a slightly older version of Excel, it might just give you the insert chart button, else you can see in this version here we've got a number of options available to us. And we can also go into here into recommended charts. So if we go into recommended charts, you can see it's already told us what charts it recommends that we use in our summary. And this is very useful because obviously if you're, again, not familiar with the desired format you have, or you're not familiar with using charts, this gives you a good starting point of what ones to use based on the data you have. If you want to look at all charts, you can see there's a second tab here for all charts available, and these are all the charts that we have available to us in Excel. And if you, as we just touched on earlier, if you're using an older version of Excel, upon hitting the Insert Chart button, this is the layout that you'll be getting. So you can jump through all the different variations of charts that you might want to use. What we're going to do is we're going to stick with a basic format, so we'll stick with column. So you can see in our recommended charts, it was the second one recommended here, so we've got clustered column. But we'll just go into the all charts view. You can select it from either one and make sure a column is selected, and then we'll just select OK. And you can see that our chart has now been added into the worksheet for us. So this is our basic chart, and what this is doing is it's showing the information we have in our table in the chart layout. And we can now see that each of our days of the week that we have going down column B has now been put here on the axis down the bottom of the chart. So we can see Monday, the total customers for Monday, the 8 what relates to our table, the 12 for Tuesday, and so on and so forth. So this is our basic chart. When we're working with charts, we might want to just change this around, and obviously you might have different color themes or branding that you wish to apply to the chart. So in order to do that, if you want to change the color of these bars, all you need to do is select any one of those bars available. And if you then, you can see it's been selected because we'll have the grab points around the edge of the bar. If you then right click and go into Format Data Series, you can see that we have some options that will pop up for us. Again, depending on the version of Excel, and sorry there's a bit of confusion here because of the versions that you may be using. If you did the right click on an older version of Excel, you will receive a pop-up where you'd be able to do like formatting in the same format you would be if you were formatting a cell within your worksheet. But for us, we're just going to navigate here to our fill option, and we can go into fill, and as at the moment the default will be automatic. But what we can do is change that to a different type. So we can go into solid fill, and we do our little paint drop down over here, and we can select a different color of our choosing. So we could go for an orange here, or we could maybe go for something a bit darker if we wanted over there. And you then have all the different variations of formatting that you can use here as well. So you can also change the border if you go down to the border, so you could have no line or a line, or the automatic selection they have. If you wanted to change the colour of the border, then all you need to do is select, obviously, the solid line and choose the colour you wish to choose. So if we go for something bright, then, and come out of this, deselect our chart, you can't really see it, but there is a border there. So if we just go back into that again, Format Chart Series, Maybe let's make this one a bit brighter as well. You can now see that you can just about see that faint border line around the edge there. So that's how you can change that as well. Other things you might want to change is, even though it might be quite straightforward to read the data there, and I am just going to change this colour back actually because it just seems a bit not hard to read, but it's not a bit strange on the eye. So let's maybe just put it back to automatic where it was, because that's a decent colour. So even though it might be quite easy to read the numbers, it's often advisable to add data labels to your totals. So it's a lot easier for the individual who's maybe seeing your presentation to clearly see what each bar relates to. And obviously that's particularly useful if you've got a lot more than just the 5 bars we have. So what you can do is, if you right click again, and you'll see there's this option here to do add data labels. So if you just select that, you can see that the totals for each of those days has now been added at the top of the bar. So for Monday, you can see we have 8 in our table. So in addition to having the bar to show you the number 8, you can also, we've now got the total at the top there, just to give you real clear guidance on obviously what that total is, which, as we say, is very useful if you've got a varying range of numbers, or you've got maybe significantly large numbers, so it's harder to maybe map against the axis down the left here. Other things you might want to do, especially is with the customers title we've got at the top here at the moment, is to rechange that. So if you select the title at the top there, what you can do is just remove or edit as if it was just as normal text, and we can just change this to number of, let's just put it the full word, number of customers per day. So that gives the again the viewer a bit more of a detailed summary of what they're looking at. Other things we can change as well is, you can see we've got these dashed lines here, the grid lines. So if we select those, and you can see they've been selected by the points either side, what we're then able to do is, if we right click these, we can do format grid lines. So again, it's going to be, the formatting is on the right hand side here. So you have very many options for changing either the texture or or the dash style, or anything or the color, or anything you might want to do with grid lines. But most extreme is, if you wanted to, you can do no line, and that will remove the grid line altogether. Sometimes I personally will do that just to give it a better feel when you put it into a presentation or so forth. Might not always be advisable, again, if it's being used to help read what the total is for each bar, but just so you can see that that's one of the things that you can do. The other two things we can format on the chart as well is, you can select the chart as a whole like this, and we can also change the border, the background color. So we could do a solid fill, and then maybe this makes a real bright color. So we can change that, again, really helpful if we've got different themes in our presentation or company branding colors that we need to use. And likewise, we also have a border, so we could add a solid border line if we wanted to. And let's just make this a real bold one so you can see. So when I select off, you can see we've now got the border. And the last area we have to do is the actual chart area itself. So you can see, if you select in this space here, so not selecting a bar and not selecting the outer area, you can see that we've then got this new area selected in the middle here. So if we then right click this, once we've got those crosshairs there, we can then do the plot area. So this time we can go into solid fill, and let's make this some extremely different color, and we can go to orange. So maybe not the nicest color combination there, but that's how you can then also format the plot area of the chart as well, giving you that full customizability. So that's inserting your first chart and how you can format and play with it. One other benefit you can do with this as well is, say you suddenly decide, actually the columns, they're not working for me, you want to have something different. What we can do here is go to our chart tools at the top. Let's replay that. So you can see at the moment we've got nothing at the top of the screen. If I select the chart, you can see we now get this additional option of here of chart tools. So if we go into chart tools, you can see we have design and format as our two options. So, didn't mean to go into format, but if we go into design, we can see that we can quickly change or go into some pre-set defaults for charts. So there's some suggestions we've got here. So maybe let's go for this one, and it will format to that style. So again, if you're sort of at a bit of a loss of what layout you should be using or where to start, here are some sort of templates that you can start using or you can use to get you started. What we're also able to do as well is, if we want, we can change the colors. So we could change the color scheme. So obviously you've got a yellow there, and then we can obviously see all the different presets available for that one there. The other thing we can do as well is if you decide that the column format is not for you and you want something different, what we can simply do is right click onto the chart, and you can see we have the option here of change chart type. So if we go on to change chart type, you can see that at the moment we've got our column and it's selected, this is the current layout we have, but we're then able to also go into line and see what that would look like. So we have a line, there's a pie chart available, so pie chart showing you what each total is as a percentage of the overall total. So for us it looks like 8. You can see the 8 for Monday is obviously a smaller segment of the pie than maybe something like Thursday is, because it's a lot more people there. You can do sidebars, and we have various other things, even got maps, but maps isn't going to work for this one because it's just days of the week rather than actual locations. But you can see there's a lot of different options we have available to us, even a tree map. But let's just change to a line chart. So if you wanted to change, all you need to do is, once you've selected the line and you can see your preview here, just select OK, and then that'll get updated for you. So you can now see we've got a line chart there rather than the column chart. So we hope that video was very interesting and of use to you, and if you were having trouble with inserting a chart, or you suddenly just decided that it would be useful for you to insert charts, then hopefully this video gave you the sort of the push to get started and how you can insert your first chart. As you will see, there's a lot of customizability available with charts, so it's just a case of playing around, finding out what works best for you, and basically what gives you the format and the style that you require. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. We've got lots of videos coming out at the moment on a daily basis, so make sure you hit that bell notification button so you are notified when each new video comes out. We've got links as always to our social media, so Instagram and Facebook, in the description to this video. So if you have any questions, either reach out to us on one of those platforms, or obviously drop us a comment below this video and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you very much, and we will see you in the next video.